Great. I like
But
it.
but all right. So yeah, Toruk, the first flight is what we're gonna go through, and I guess I will get started.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Okay. All right. So we start with the storyteller, of course. And he says, I am the storyteller, and I am here to tell you a tale of great bravery and resolve. It is a story about overcoming your fears in the face of grave danger, about standing together in times of trouble, and about facing the unknown to achieve the impossible. It is a tale of brotherhood and courage that took place on my beautiful home moon, Pandora. There is no worse fate for a people than to face extinction. This was the destiny that awaited all my brothers and sisters. Never since the time of the first songs had we faced destruction on this scale, and time was running out.
Oh, no.
Epic intro indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn this music down a little bit. All right. So in what we now call a time of great sorrow, a huge lake of fire rose from deep inside the belly of our world. This fire threatened to destroy the sacred tree of souls, our connection to Awa, our deity and great mother. It threatened to annihilate my people. Ralu and Entu, two Metkayina boys about to become true Navi hunters, decided to listen to their hearts and take matters into their own hands. When they learned that Toruk, the fire-colored predator that ruled the sky, could help them save the Tree of Souls if they could first gather 5 sacred objects, they set out on a long quest that would lead them to the Toruk's hunting ground up in the floating mountains. Along the way, they encountered a like-minded member of the Takami clan named Xiao, who had truly special skills. But the divided clans, not realizing how clever and wise the trio's plan was, failed to heed their message. How could the prophecy be fulfilled at last? Would a pure soul rise from among us to ride Toruk for the first time and save the Navi from a terrible fate? What and where were these 5 sacred objects that belonged to 5 different clans? And above all, what were Ralu, Entu, and Xiao to do when they came face to face with Toruk, the deadliest of all creatures on our world?
Oh, wow.
Bro, tell me this isn't fire already. Like this is
Yeah.
this is epic already. All right. So the first sacred object, the Toruk talisman, and it comes from the Metkayina clan.
Okay.
All right.
It's like woven.
Yeah. Our tale begins here, at the foot of the home tree of my clan, the Metkayina, a friendly and deeply spiritual people. The Metkayina are excellent weavers, known throughout the land for their beautiful textiles. They weave the joy of working with the loom into every piece they make. Here, among my people, is where the first sacred object in the prophecy was made. It represents our totem animal, Toruk, or Last Shadow. For you see, if Toruk chooses you as its prey and closes in on you from above, its shadow is the last thing you will see before your spirit joins with Awa and your ancestors.
Scary.
True story. All right, so let's meet our cast of characters. So we have Entu and Ralu. And I love that I actually was able to get the art so you guys can really see what they look like. So that's pretty
That's
awesome.
great. Wow.
Our story begins with these two Navi boys. Look how playful they are. They're like true brothers getting ready to fly on their own into the world. The older boy's name is Ralu. He is the son of a great hunter. Ralu is a natural born leader. He's calm, kind hearted, and always on the lookout for his friend Entu. Entu is the younger one with the red beads in his hair. He was very small when his parents were killed by an angry Thanator, the most dangerous land creature on Pandora. Ralu's family took him in and raised him as their own. The two boys
Oh,
have been
okay.
inseparable ever since. And I know it said the red things in his hair. Here in the art, it's like kind of green at the top for Entu, but it really is red in
Right,
like the
yeah.
play and thing like that. But this was concept art. Okay.
It looks really cool though.
The Metkayina share a deep connection with our moon Pandora. The natural world is part of them, and they are part of it as well. They live inside the giant home tree where they sleep, eat, weave, dance, and celebrate their connection with Awa. Right now, though, the Metkayina are getting ready to guide their brothers Ralu and Entu into adulthood. These two boys are about to experience the most important moment of their young lives. The time has come for Ralu and Entu to pass the first trial of their initiation before becoming true Navi hunters. Ralu completes the difficult trial flawlessly, but his friend Entu breaks his bow and fails. Feeling humiliated, he flees deep inside the forest. In order to seal Ralu's initiation, the shaman of the Metkayina hands over the Toruk talisman to the new hunter, who must now find his place among the people. So that's how we obtain the first of the sacred objects.
Mm,
So he earned
right.
it by completing his trial. And two did not. All right. The shaman has a terrifying vision, though. She sees the Tree of Souls surrounded by a lake of liquid fire. Our most sacred place, our direct link with Awa, is burning. The worried Olo Ektan, the clan chief of the Metkayina, knows that uniting the clans in these times of division will not be easy. And that's a look at the shaman on the left, and that's the Olo Ektan
Wow.
at the moment of the Metkayina. And that shaman looks dope.
That looks amazing. Look at all the detail in the costume.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
great.
So let's meet our third protagonist of this tale. With the T being silent, it's Xiao, and she comes from the Talkami clan. Xiao lost her mother at a tender age. She was raised by her grandmother, who was revered in her clan for her unique remedies and concoctions. Spurred by her grandmother's legacy, Xiao has taken great pride in creating innovative mixtures and recipes of her own. With a mere seed, she can put the fiercest beast to sleep. With the frailest looking flower, she can induce the most beautiful dreams or provoke the most terrifying nightmares.
Oh,
I like her outfit. It's all
yeah.
like just like super naturey, because they're like really one with like the nature and the
It's like
everything's an
moss.
ingredient to them. It's awesome. Meanwhile, N2 takes refuge at the Tree of Voices, where he finds comfort in times of trouble. This is where he listens to the voices of his ancestors, among them his mother and father, who live within Awa. But right now, the message his ancestors are whispering in his ear is vital and far reaching. Only Toruk can help save the Tree of Souls. To approach Toruk, you must first gather 5 sacred objects that come from 5 different clans. The Toruk talisman is the first of these sacred objects. Now they have to find the 4 remaining ones to fulfill their quest. Suddenly, a pack of viper wolves known as Nantang to the Navi attacks, but Xiao, who was watching from afar, chases the creatures away with the smoke of a special seed. To the boys' complete amazement, meanwhile, a swarm of wood sprites slowly gather around them, a sign that they are in the presence of something or someone very special.
Oh.
Now we go towards our second sacred object, the tranquil seed from the Talkami clan. The special seed, the second sacred object in the prophecy, comes from the jungle where Xiao lives among her people, the Talkami. These gentle people possess a great skill that they have refined over many generations. They combine elements found in nature to make powerful potions and remedies. Where most see a beautiful forest full of plants, flowers, and trees, the Takami see a great collection of ingredients and recipes, each with its own special powers and virtues. With this skill, they make the tranquil seed. Breaking the kernels of this seed releases a smoke that can calm the wildest animal.
Oh.
And yeah, their costumes are awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's one thing about this story. It's like I think it was one of the first times we were able to meet so many different clans, and you got to see,
Hmm.
their different styles and cultures. So it's really cool.
There's so much detail in everything.
All right. So
Ooh.
Xiao introduces Ralu and Entu to her father, the clan chief of the Takami, who laughs at the youngsters' plan to find Toruk. The two Metkayina boys are forced to leave the forest empty-handed, without Xiao and a tranquil seed. When they reach a river, they are cornered by strange creatures and forced to jump into the stream. But Xiao comes to their rescue aboard a raft. She has disobeyed her father, bringing with her precious seeds, the potion of the Takami. The quest can continue. The 3 friends reach the desert and set off on foot. When night falls, they doze off under the starry sky. Now we're on to the third sacred object, the Thanator bone or Palulukan bone from the Anurai, which we recently covered when we were reading
Yeah, I
Solek's
was gonna say
Journey.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
So our 3 heroes have found their way to the land of the Anurai clan, where they hope to find the third sacred object, the Thanator bone. The noble Anurai have settled in the middle of a vast sacred bone sanctuary. There they search the land for perfect elements that they turn into works of art. They make beautiful sculptures and musical instruments out of the ancient bones of animals whose spirits now run with Awa, our great mother. And now we get to see what they look like. And once again, it is
Whoa.
awesome. I love that it does match the look we kind of saw in the comic recently.
Oh, for sure,
And
yeah.
uh, I like the mohawk ones in the back. These ones had the
Yeah.
craziest like headdresses so far that we've seen. So like, it's pretty cool. There's a sacred object on the left from a Thanator, Thanator's bone.
So it's like
The
a tooth,
dry
right?
mouth
Or not?
Thanators.
Oh my God, I remember. Jesus.
Oh
Is it like
god.
a tooth or just a bone?
I just calls it a bone, so yeah, because that would be a huge tooth. I don't think they have
Yeah.
teeth that big, but so just some kind of bone from their body, I guess. They I guess carved this, and it
I
looks like
love
it's a
the.
horn, like that you
Yeah,
can like,
that's. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It looks awesome. I love the detailing.
I'll just take a little bit of a break. Something in the water. As more of you file in, we now got like 75 of you tuning in. Thank you. Take your seats. Take
Welcome,
your
guys.
seats.
Enjoy
We've
your
added
Friday.
Risa. Is there anywhere I can read along captions? I know I always put them on screen for you guys. But this one I tried. There was just 51 of these, and they were already time consuming, so I couldn't like put all the text that I'm reading onto them. So I apologize. I'll make sure in the future to really do that because I know now I really do know that some people do like reading along. So I'll make sure to do that. Sorry
I'll
about
be able to
that.
help you then as well.
But yeah, there's nowhere really online. I'm kind of getting this from the program book. So if you went to the show when it was running, you can buy this, souvenir program book. And like in there, it gives you pretty much a condensed version of the story, kind of, recaps it for you. So that's what I'm reading along with right now. Dino Shark, McFarlane Toys. Where's that Toruk figure? Definitely, that was one of the biggest blunders. It's like, I know you couldn't do the 7-inch scale version to match, your 7-inch figures because that would have been huge. The Ikrans were already really big, but they did that smaller scale. You could definitely have done a Toruk in that smaller scale that they did, where they still released some of the Banshees.
I have a little Toruk, but it's from the Kinder Egg.
Oh yeah.
Can you put me on screen?
Oh yeah, let me see. I know. I'm looking at it in the backstage in the studio.
Everybody's like, "What's going on?"
You're right. 1 segundo. There we go. All right.
So this is just from the Kinder Egg, but they really should be making one like the. I'm looking up there because all my Ikran figures are there.
Yeah.
From the McFarlane ones as well.
Yeah, because they did those really cool. Because they came with the little stand, right? So I believe they did. Yeah. Yeah, the detail on those were pretty good. Don't hurt yourself.
Like imagine, are these in McFarlane? Yeah, right.
Yeah, those are McFarlane. Yeah. Yeah, those are dope. I gotta do like videos on all the ones that I own, like little turnaround videos. The detail on those little riders is obviously very lacking.
I know.
But once you like from afar, once you put them on the Ikrans or something, then it's really cool. It completes the picture. But yeah, on their own, like sometimes they don't even have eyeballs painted on. I'm like, wow. But yeah.
Yeah, you can really see that
cool.
the detailing is low. But from far away, it's great. And also the
far
detailing
away,
on the Ikran is incredible.
Yeah. Man, I gotta line all mine up. Alrighty. Let's get back to the story. Let's see. I didn't want to move too quickly. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going through this a little bit quicker than I thought.
No, we can chill. We can relax.
All right. So back to the Anurai clan.
Yes.
All right. So during the night, N2 once again has a nightmare about the Thanator that attacked and killed his parents. Meanwhile, as the young Navi sleep, the Anurai are paying tribute to the Thanator, their totem animal, by building a kinetic structure with parts of the creature's skeleton. So pretty much go back to that right there.
That looks so cool.
When the trio awakes, Ralu picks up a unique bone and recognizes it as one of the 5 sacred objects. So back to Exhibit A. He blows into it, which immediately draws Toruk's attention. When Ralu and his friends try to chase after the predator, they are surrounded by viper wolves. The trio runs off in the distance as a pack of angry viper wolves are on their tail. Sorry about that. Now we're on to the 4th sacred object, and I actually think they Did they misspell fourth? Shouldn't there be a U in there?
Where?
Or
Oh yeah, no, you're right. They
because I
misspelled
was
it.
like, am I tripping? Because that was in the book. I just took that picture
Wait,
from the book. That was not me. Because I also wouldn't be able to write the French up there at the top.
yeah, no, they misspelled it.
Okay. Cirque du Soleil. Hey, at least English isn't their first language. You can tell it's the French up top. So we're just reading the translation. All right. So this one is the Warrior Shield from the Tapani clan. And once again, we did recently meet them and see them in the Solix Journey comic as well.
Yes, I remember that too.
And yeah, so they get these shells from like the Curus crab or even other different creatures, and they kind of wear them as like shields and armor pieces. It looks pretty dope, so I like their style as well. And they even get little bitty ones to make little
Yeah,
ones, so
I was just about to bring that up
you
too.
just kind of have to pretend that one didn't happen. And let me see if I can get you a better look at one of them. Here's the one. So here's another one where you can see them wear some of the armor pieces as well, and even the itty bitty.
Like
You
on
start
her
on your
legs and
shit from smallest, you work your way up. But but yeah, I like this one. This is cool. I wonder if
I
this
like it
suggests
too.
that they were there during the battle of the Hallelujah Mountains, because that's like an amp suit that she's on top of, and then like the stingbacks are also attacking the suit. So maybe that's what it indicates. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, looks like it.
All right. Okay, so let me go back. My valiant brothers of the Tapani clan are fierce warriors. They are known all over Pandora for both their spirituality and their great hunting skills. When the Tapani hunt, they move without making a sound, like water slipping through the cracks in the ground. The Tapani are unusual in that they wear armor and masks. Just as energy flows in all things, these warriors seek to take on the skills and instincts of the animals they hunt. For a Tapani warrior, the shield is a symbol of the protective power of Awa. Okay. So here we see the Viper Wolves and the Tapani Warriors. It says a group of Tapani warriors chase away the Viper Wolves. But when one of the creatures threatens to kill N2, the warriors number 20. The Tapani chief is forced to kill the beast. Angry at having to put a creature to death, the warriors decide to test the trio's valor in a symbolic battle.
That's like when Neytiri had to kill the Viper Wolves for Jake.
Exactly.
They did not need to die.
You should not be here. So after the intruders reveal their plan to find Toruk, the clan chief does not believe one word of the story. So this is a symbolic battle, and then the clan chief orders them to go home. So for this clan, their Olo Ektan, for lack of a better term, is female. So that's one of the first clans we see that their main leader is not a male; it's a female. So
that's interesting.
And they don't call it the Olo Ektan, so they keep saying just the clan chief. So I wonder if Olo Ektan is necessarily like a masculine term. I'm not so sure about that. If anybody in the chat knows, just let us know. So she orders them to go home, escorted by two warriors of with their impressive shields. This time, it seems as though all is lost for the trio. But I mean, hey, if you just got escorted by 2 Tepani warriors with shields, it kind of looks like you came away with that sacred object to me. You know what I mean? So inadvertently, they did come away with that object. So that's cool.
That's true.
All right. So now that they got that one, the fourth one, we're on to the last one. The fifth sacred object is the Rider's Visor. And this is from the Kekunan clan.
Wow, that looks really interesting.
And you'll see what the visors look like more on them right there, on like they're wearing them right there. So that's the Kekunan clan. With their quick reflexes and nerve, my brothers and sisters of the Kekunan clan are masters at the art of flying the Ikran, known to the sky people as the mountain banshee. The visor these riders wear protects them from the great winds, especially when diving towards a target. In order to become hunters with their clan, all Na'vi must participate in the ceremony known as Iknimaya. They must select, capture, and bond with an Ikran. Once the Na'vi make the dangerous climb up to the floating mountains, to the Ikran rookery, they must choose their own Ikran. If the Ikran also chooses them, it will try to kill them. If the Na'vi survives and is able to make the Sahelu or bond, the first flight seals the connection between the Ikran and the rider for life.
Something we're very familiar with.
And I was going to say, does that kind of sound like maybe the Metkayina's, the fact that they do that now, it kind of seems like it originated from this clan.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure they
taught
each other.
Because they didn't mention it recently when it said in the beginning when Ralu and Entu were doing their trials, it didn't sound like completing that was part of the trial, whereas in the first movie, that is like what you have to pass in order to now become like one of the Metkayina. So it seems they might have adopted it. Yeah, because I'm like, it seems like it originated from them, and maybe after these events and thousands of years from now, it seems like they kind of adopted, their rite of passage, and like, you know what, we'll put an emphasis on the Ikrans as well. That was just my little observation. I could be wrong.
No, that's really good.
Because I was like, they really went into great detail to completely describe everything we know from the movie. And I'm like, it's because I think right now the Metkayina don't do that yet. All right.
No, they must have like maybe made friends or something like that, and then at some point just taught each other.
Yeah. So at dusk, the trio and their 2 escorts arrive in the Kekunan territory and stare in amazement at a flock of mountain banshees flying in circles overhead. The unnerved youngsters have to duck out of the way when the creatures swoop down from the sky. When the Kekunan notice the trio, they quickly surround the intruders. So there's the Olo Aikdan for them on the left. He looks dope. Oh, wait. Is that the... Yeah, that's him. And then he's there on the right as well. But it says, when the Kekunan clan chief notices the sacred objects they carry, he recognizes the signs of a prophecy that has been passed from generation to generation among his people, stating 5 sacred objects for the Toruk, the talisman of the Metkayina clan to recognize it, the horn of the Anurai to lure it, the seeds of the Talkami to soothe it, the shield of the Tepani to protect against it, the visor of the Kekunan to guide it, and a pure soul to ride it. The chief agrees to help. I know, right? I'm like, bro. And it awfully sounds like the dang passage from Lord of the Rings about the One Ring.
Yeah.
And then the darkness bind them. But the chief agrees to help Ralu, Entu, and Xiao to pursue their quest and guides them to the place where Toruk likes to hunt. And that obviously is up in the floating mountains. It is one thing to find Toruk. It is quite another to mount the creature, make the bond with it, and ride it. Sheer madness. No Navi has ever dreamt of doing this. Guided by the clan chief of the Kekunan, Ralu, Entu, and Xiao climb up to the floating mountains. As they cross a rope bridge, Ralu blows into the Palulukan bone to attract Toruk, who responds right away. As he's looming in the sky, but the force of the creature's wings and flight makes the bridge shake violently, and Xiao barely manages to chase Toruk away with her tranquil seed. As the bridge comes apart, Ralu is badly injured in the fall and is forced to entrust Entu with his vital mission. Young Entu immediately takes off in pursuit of Toruk. All right, so basically this whole time, it wasn't supposed to be Entu. The real, like, natural-born leader was, Ralu. This kind of reminds me of, recently of Netayam and Loak, the obvious, like, real leader that really had the, that vibe and everything was Netayam. But as even it seems like history is going to repeat itself, something did happen to Netayam, and something here, Ralu gets injured, and now it's going to fall to the other brother, the one that he didn't expect it from.
The same thing, actually, that happened to Jake himself as well.
Yeah.
Because his brother died too.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Very great point. Very great point.
Interesting pattern.
It's hardly brought up again, so honestly, sometimes I forget he even had a twin brother. Because it's hardly brought up again after, like, those first moments of the original movie. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go back to the comments for a little bit. Let's see. Risa says her hair is very symbolic. She also says, I understand. Sorry, I'm just hearing impaired, but I do appreciate it. Oh, I apologize. And like I said, from now on, I'll make sure, even if it's, tons of slides, I'll make sure to put the text. Because I do also just like reading it off the screen instead of, like, off screen, like on my phone or a book or something.
Yeah.
I like just looking at the screen and just reading it.
Next week after my break, I'll be able to help you with a lot of things as well. So,
Yeah. No worries. Let's see. Andy Papa says Oloikdan is neutral and it means clan chief. If you want to be specific about the gender, Oloikdan is for a male and Oloikdi is for female. Okay, awesome. All right.
Thank you. Andy.
Which is probably why they were just using clan chief here instead of the Oloikdan. Okay, that makes sense. Or Oloikdi for the female. All right, that's awesome. That makes sense. Snake Eye says the three main characters just sound like the characters from the New Planet of the Apes film for some reason. Hey, that was a good movie. I liked it. Charlie Wood. You haven't seen it? Oh,
don't kill me.
It's okay. Yeah, at least you're not doing a podcast for a podcast of the Planet of the Apes, so you're good. Charlie Wood says Sawanin is also forgotten, sadly. Yeah, she's and I think even in the theatrical cut, very, very little is mentioned. I do like the extended because you get, I believe, a little bit more info, especially with like the school. I think they go through the school in the extended version. And one of the comics as well really expands upon that. Robin hasn't read the comics, so as we go through them here, like keep going through canon stories. Yeah, it's gonna be cool to get her reaction on them kind of giving us more info about her. So
imagine I randomly said, like, I've never seen the Avatar movies.
Oh my god. At least we know you have seen those. Snake Eyes, I saw the New Planet of the Apes. That movie was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. Charlie Wood. Sawanan isn't mentioned in the theatrical cut at all. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
So,
really?
because I really haven't watched the theatrical, like once the extended, that's pretty much what I watch. So, all right, let's get back to it.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Oh yeah, there's their awesome puppet for Toruk, and it's actually giant too. Like it's not small. If you were watching the show, like it takes up a huge part of the stage just flying around. It's awesome.
Maybe that
hmm,
should be my next avatar tattoo.
a Toruk.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fate.
I think so too.
All right, let's go. As the clan chief and the shaman of the Metkayina gather the other clans, a river of fire threatens to
Ooh.
destroy the Tree of Souls. The
Oh
shaman's
no.
premonition has come true. The Tree of
She was
Souls
right.
is in danger. But yeah, this looks dope. And it like they actually have it flowing and everything. Like they have really good technology where it actually looks like lava's flowing and everything. Like this is I'm sad this is something we can't go see anymore. Like it's not traveling anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks that it shut down like many years ago at this point. So if you have a DVD of this, treasure it because you know it's pretty much not up there anywhere. Like you can watch a very condensed 20 minutes was officially uploaded by Cirque du Soleil, but this is
Oh,
a
okay.
2 hour show, so it really jump like you'll
Wow.
get one scene and then it jumps way ahead and then jumps way ahead. So I'll still watch it to see at least those 20 minutes if obviously you don't
Mm-hmm.
have the DVD that they sold during the shows, but yeah, it's an amazing show.
It looks incredible.
That's it. So you see the lava's coming towards the tree,
Oh
and
no.
here it like completely engulfs it. We can see that the other Navi clans, because you can see how big the stage is, they're up there towards those cliffs you see up on the top left, and they're trying to get water to come through there. You can
Oh
start
yeah.
seeing that some of the water is now, you can see with their effects they have that it looks like the water's
Uh-huh.
dripping down. So all these different clans are working together to try to destroy the rocks on these cliffs. And once
Mm-hmm.
again, it goes back to that Solek's ancestor. We were told that he was one of these that was there trying to break the rocks for the water. Remember, like that was his role.
Oh yeah.
So we're
Oh,
supposed
I
to
remember that, yeah.
imagine that somewhere in there is what was his name, Hatunaun, or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
quote me on it. Quote me. But and then we see that they actually do get the water to really break through the cliffs, and it starts flooding out. So we're like, okay, right, it's gonna be good. But here we go.
Mm-hmm.
While our young heroes have gathered the 5 sacred objects, all the water of Pandora and all the tears of the Navi will not be enough to extinguish the deadly fire. As we see now in the next scene, it just comes
Whoa.
back and it even burns even hotter and brighter. The tree literally looks at this point like it's dying. Like it's dying, it's already
Mm-hmm.
burning up. So where are these guys? Come on. Um, the lava will engulf the Tree of Souls until it is turned to ashes. Ooh, fire and ash.
Oh.
How will clans live without their connection with Awa, the Great Mother? How can they avoid extinction? But fear not, when all hope seems
There
lost,
he is.
Toruk appears in the sky between the cliffs with a young Navi on its back. And there we
Yay.
go. And it's N2. He has achieved the impossible. The creature does its best to help the Navi youths reach the island. So he's like flying around with it. You have some other shots. At
Whoa.
some point right there when he's flying around, yeah, this thing was like massive. He goes to one of the strands of the Tree of Souls and he yanks it. I think it's because it's one of the last
Oh.
strands that's alive. Because if you look to the left, that tree and all those strands right there are already dead. But he pulls
Mm-hmm.
one there from the top right there with some lights. So he pulls one of the last strands that still survives. So he's got that. But as they're flying around, I think it gets too close to the lava. So it says, but when they fly too close to the burning tree, Toruk is wounded and crashes to the ground. So you see it crash
No.
down there. It does this. Obviously couldn't really capture the full motion of it, but it does this huge ripple effect that you start to see right there underneath. And then it really does just crash. It from the other spot, it comes up a little bit, but they just really can't continue to go. So it crashes down again a little bit further away, and that's its final little resting spot. It says the Toruk is wounded and crashes to the ground, where it draws its last breath. So we see
No. Really?
N2 be able to get on the rock. Yeah, this didn't last long. Toruk is there. He's literally on the lava. Like, that is insane. N2 gets to the rock. And you see that N2 like starts feeling for it. He still has that strand right there from the last living strand of the Tree of Souls.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Toruk takes his final breath.
Oh my god. I wasn't
Like, that's
expecting Toruk to
insane.
die.
Yeah, really quick. It's like, bro, I just tamed you so you can come over
So
here.
in the first movie, right? Am I correct
Mhm.
in remembering that they had a Toruk skull within the
Yes.
Metkayina clan?
Yes. You're right.
Was that
And
this one?
I believe so. People in the chat correct me, but oh wait, it's either the first one or when Neytiri's looking at it and telling Jake about it. It's either
Mm-hmm.
the first one or it's the one that belonged to her grandfather. So
Yeah.
I think it was her grandfather's, who she said was the last one to be
Right, right. Not the first one, but
Taruk
the
Mekto.
last one.
Yeah, so it's the last one. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're right.
that's it. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, so these ones probably just really disintegrated in the lava.
I was gonna say like that they did a great job of
There was
preserving it.
probably gonna be nothing left.
Poor
Yeah,
thing.
this is insane. So I do have a question though, because it doesn't really tell me here in the summary,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously I never really caught the live show. Um, so how did the lava get put out? Was it because the flapping of its
Oh.
wings? Was it because when it
No,
landed,
air
when it
feeds
had?
fire.
So then I don't know, because there was that one thud, that ripple effect. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that was supposed to have, because I'm like, if all the water didn't do it, what did it? Because literally, so anybody in the chat also, maybe if anybody has actually seen the full thing,
Maybe
it's like,
maybe it just burnt. Like it just burnt until it was done. And then
oh,
it was
you're
just
right.
ashes.
You're right. So they didn't stop it. It literally did destroy the tree. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh my god, the answer's right in front of me. And what he helped them
That's
do
why
was
I'm
get
here.
that last strand that was up there. That's the last strand that's important. Okay. Wow, that still sucks. That what a terrible fate for Taruk. He's like,
Yeah,
man,
I
you could
feel
have got
really
an
bad about that.
Ikran to boost you up, bro. You had to get me? Like, I was chilling. You see this? Wearing a kimono. Like, I'm chilling. You had to come over here in my house, blow horns, and dang.
Oh well. Now
But
they
yeah,
know
and then
that
it
that they can ride a Toruk.
yeah, so now, yeah, obviously that was the most important part. Now they know they can ride it. It's obviously, still very difficult. And by the time, of Jake in the first movie, none of these objects are used anymore. It wasn't even really talked about. he was just like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
let me just get it. Obviously, there's another comic that actually shows us the moment that he does tame it. So once again,
Yes.
that's gonna be for another stream that you probably haven't read. So
I've
um
seen the pictures though.
oh, you've seen some pictures? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh so we do get to kind of see, that moment when he does jump onto it and what happens. But so here we have all the different clans, they're also coming to the Toruk like, dang, bro, you did it.
Wow.
Let's see here. Before we continue, Charlie Wood says, if only they had made the collector's cut the standard for Disney Plus and the 2022 theatrical re-release. Yeah, you're right. Because I believe it's just the theatrical that they have up there on Disney Plus. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched that version because I just have the physical. I don't have the DVD, but I found it fully on Daily Motion. I was an hour and 36 minutes in, I think. Okay, so cool. Toruk gets hurt. Yeah, Toruk's Morto. He he gets really hurt.
uh,
They said thanks for playing. Dino Shark grandfather. Yeah, grandfather instead of the first one. Yeah. Charlie Wood, did they get a sprig from the tree? Maybe the tree didn't survive, but the sprig did. Yeah. I got a little bit more, so we're gonna finish it off here. Andy Papa says Neytiri says her great great grandfather. Okay, so it was great great grandfather was the fifth Toruk Makto. It does not say to which Toruk it belongs. Okay, and
oh,
after
okay.
that,
Thank you.
yeah, so it actually had been like that's why it was still a really big deal because it wasn't since her like great great grandfather that the
Uh-huh.
fifth one was around, and it can only happen, as they say, during a time of great sorrow. So here, it was this lava and this volcano that was threatening the Tree of Souls. Jump
Mm-hmm.
all the way to 3,000 years later, it was humans acting as the metaphor for that lava, that volcano that was threatening literally the Tree of Souls. So I want to know
I'm
what
really,
the other instances were. Like we really need more
yeah.
Avatar history, comics, novels. Give it to me in a game, preferably. But but I want to know what these other times of great sorrows were. Like, what was the threat in all these different
We
occasions?
just, we need a full history book.
Yeah, we really do. And it's probably something that's gonna come later because there's probably so much that we need to get informed of first before you reveal more behind the
Mm-hmm.
curtain. Because then it could be one of those things where like the prequel can spoil the sequel, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, it's like the proper way to watch Star Wars. It's like you watch the originals and then you go back in time, watch the prequels. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it works the other way too, but this way's better. Um, Andy Papa says, and after that, N2 travels and forms the Sarentu clan. Yes, he does. And Avatar Chloe says, grandfather as well. All right, we're all caught up. So let's continue. So you're right. With this last little, sprig of the Tree of Souls, it says, devastated, the brave Navi walks toward the scorched Tree of Souls and begs the Great Mother to help his people.
Sounds familiar.
Swarms of wood
Oh,
sprites suddenly appear above him. Awa has answered his prayers.
look at all the Atokirinas.
As the reunited clans gather around the first Toruk Makto, life and light slowly return to the Tree of Souls.
Interesting.
The prophecy has been fulfilled at last. All rejoice. And then the
Oh, that's
last
a
little
cool
part
shot.
is, thus ends the story of Toruk, who gave his life to save ours. Everything is connected. I am an orphan from the Metkayina clan, and I became the first Toruk Makto. This was my story. And then kick in emotional, song in the end credits. Boom!
Wow.
We are done.